Here are a few of the things we have to show you on this week's VA News. Secretary McDonald got a warm reception at the American Legion Convention in Charlotte, North Carolina.
He kicked off a medical recruitment campaign in a major speech at Duke University.
And the Secretary took the high road in another response to a not-so-positive report from the VA Inspector General.
Hello, I'm Prince Taylor with the Office of Operations, Security, and Preparedness.
And I'm Amber Laskowski with the Office of Information and Technology. This is VA News. There's a lot of activity across the nation at VA to report, including 2 important trips by new Secretary McDonald to North Carolina. Let's begin there with a segment produced by Ray Leal and Jay Rosenfelder, beginning with the President and Secretary appearing at the American Legion 2014 Summer Convention in Charlotte.
Now, I brought with me here today our new Secretary of Veterans Affairs, Bob McDonald. He comes from a military family. He excelled at West Point, served as an Army Airborne Ranger. So he's got a reputation for jumping into tough situations.
I'm Bob. How you do, sir?
Good morning.
Thank you for doing it, for your service.
I tell you, I'm proud of it. I really
You should be. You should be.
Come on, Mr. Thomas.
All right, Mr. Thomas.
Let's get a picture.
How you doing?
Let's get a picture in front of the president, not in front of me.
He's hit the ground running, visiting hospitals and clinics across the country, hearing directly from veterans, and helping us change the way VA does business.
I'm here to promise you VA will go beyond its present difficulties and be stronger for it.
What I want you to know directly from me is that we're focused on this at the highest levels.
Right now, it's up to the department to reaffirm its worth and regain veteran trust.
We are going to get to the bottom of these problems. We're going to fix what is wrong. We're going to do right by you, and we are going to do right by your families, and that is a solemn pledge and commitment that I'm making to you here.
I have no doubt that with the support of President Obama, with the support of Congress, with the support of the veteran service organizations like the American Legion and other stakeholders, we can do what needs to be done to restore confidence in the Veterans Affairs Department.
Later that week, the Secretary delivered a couple of speeches at Duke University. He kicked off a major recruitment campaign in an address to fellows and interns at the Duke Medical School.
I am here for one reason and one reason alone. I want you to come work for the VA. We want to pay off your student loans. In the recent bill that was just passed by the Congress, we've doubled the number of loans we can pay off. And we're also looking right now at increasing the salary bands for all of the medical professionals in VA. We need a lot more people. We need tens of thousands of new doctors and nurses, clinicians, physicians assistants. So we're looking for more and more help. When members of Congress during my Senate confirmation hearing asked me, why do you want to do this? I said this is the highest calling I could possibly do, to care for those who have fought our battles and suffered because of it. And we've got to care for those people. It's a very high calling.
Duke students were asked for their input on how the Secretary did, and questions like, will you consider working at VA after hearing his remarks?
I think the VA would potentially be a great place to start a career, especially for young physicians coming out. You know, I think some of the untold truth about going into a medical profession is that some of us come out with a good deal of student loans, and despite being able to have a public service career and the calling to do that, it is helpful to have government support in terms of recognizing your service, in terms of going into the medical field, and also being able to reciprocate that in serving some of the greatest patient populations in the world.
The Secretary also spoke to student veterans and others in a packed auditorium and viewing room at the Duke School of Business about the core values of leadership.
My first belief is that living a life driven by a purpose or inspired by a purpose is much more meaningful and rewarding than simply meandering through life without direction. The thread of continuity throughout my life has been my purpose of improving lives. What's your purpose? So when I got the phone call about changing my life direction to go to VA, it was very simple. What's my purpose? Improving lives. Who better, what higher calling is there than to take care of veterans in the VA?
Here are a couple of short items and references to get more information. First, VA's Inspector General released the final report of systemic issues with patient scheduling and access issues at the Phoenix healthcare system. VA Secretary McDonald delivered a press release apologizing to all veterans whose VA care was delayed and outlined a number of actions the department will take to positively respond to the Inspector General's recommendations. You can review all of that at the address on the screen.
And VA released a new version of the GI Bill comparison tool just in time before school started. The tool is a resource to assist veterans and their beneficiaries to find information online about the post-9/11 GI Bill. Check it out at the address on the screen.
While we are talking about the GI Bill, we have a nice story to share with you that shows the GI Bill can get you a lot more than a traditional education and job to follow.
And it gives us a chance to herald the return of the American Veteran, VA's Emmy Award-winning video news magazine, which has been on sabbatical since this summer. There are 4 new shows to see and 2 more soon to be released.
When the students leave here at this particular school, Pittsburgh Institute of Aeronautics, they will leave here with a certificate that gives them the authority to work and sign off their own paperwork on aircraft.
This is that passageway that I'm showing you. It's going to mix with our fuel to help atomize it going into this boost venturi.
Teaching here at PIA and my interest in aircraft all started from the Air Force. I worked on aircraft engines while I was in the military, a particular engine, the J-58, which is on the SR-71 Blackbird. I think a lot of people know what that aircraft is. I was kind of an elite part of the Air Force working on that. I want to make sure everything's done before we close up this cylinder. Good. You can get an airframe certificate or a power plant certificate, but what we like the students to do here when they leave is to gain both certificates so they can do anything they need to do on an aircraft. There you go.
The FAA offers separate certifications for bodywork or airframe mechanics and engine work or power plant mechanics. Veterans Stacy Powers and Mark McCrae are heading to electronics class.
97.
The first step toward the FAA-required A&P mechanic license.
I found out from a friend that PIA took the post-9/11 GI Bill and the Montgomery GI Bill, and I applied, and I got 100% benefits, so I was really excited to come here. Once I graduate here, I'll take my A&P license that I get from this school, and I'll take my career that I had in the military, and I'll go forth and try to get a job with a helicopter company.
I knew about my GI benefits from the moment that I got in. I knew that it was going to help me out in the long run whenever I was done. And I mean, why not go to school for free if I have the opportunity to?
David Smith is also using his benefits for education at PIA.
I had my bachelor's degree, and I decided I wanted to transition into a certificate program. So I still had the benefits that I could use to get my education in aviation maintenance. 17. It's been great that I can go into different avenues and I still have the benefits to help me out.
Veterans with work experience will have a leg up on the competition.
A veteran does have a really good chance as far as getting a higher pay than somebody who does not have military experience. A lot of employers look at that because they're structured in their work ethic. You know, they have certain rules they abide by and they know these rules. We don't like breaking rules in this industry. So for them to get their experience and their training in the material and the structure they get and the training from anywhere for that matter will bleed out into the workforce that they're going to be going to.
This is good news for Stacy, who worked on the B-1 bomber while in the Air Force.
When I worked on the B-1 bomber, it was exciting. It's a really cool plane. You see it come in and knowing that something's broken on it. And if you have to, you drop the engine and you troubleshoot, see where the problem is, you fix that part and run engines and see if it works, and if it starts up and you get to see it take off. It's like a pride thing. You're happy that you fixed that and you got to see it fly off. I've always been good at working with my hands. I've always wanted to do something that doesn't require sitting behind a desk. I get bored with that kind of stuff, so being out and working with things and working with tools, it always seemed a lot better with me. I learned like that. Once I'm out, I've been told that I am like top of the list. They want females and they want veterans, so I'm pretty excited to see what kind of opportunities come.
use your benefits. They're there and they've been established for you to get an education, get the training, because it just betters yourself and you can make yourself more marketable when you get out there in the civilian world.
You can watch new and past episodes of The American Veteran at any of the websites on your screen. A lot of people are due credit for the National Cemetery Administration receiving the highest rating 5 times in the past 13 years from the American Customer Satisfaction Index. It's no coincidence that the NCA's National Training Center has been in existence about the same amount of time. The one-of-a-kind Federal Training Center prepares employees to manage and operate cemeteries as national shrines. The NCA graduated its 8th class from the St. Louis Training Center's National Cemetery Director Intern Program recently. The 14 graduates will become assistant directors and directors at different cemeteries in the near future. Here they are.
Charles Rudy Arnold, Assistant Director, Florida National Cemetery, with duty at Bay Pines National Cemetery in St. Petersburg, Florida. Craig Arcell, Assistant Director, South Florida National Cemetery, Lake Worth, Florida. Brian Barnes, Director, West Virginia National Cemetery, Grafton, West Virginia. Adrian Benton, Director, Fort Smith National Cemetery, Fort Smith, Arkansas. Amy Callahan, Director, Wood National Cemetery, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Jasper Edwards, Assistant to the Director, Jefferson Barracks National Cemetery, St. Louis, Missouri. Sue Nan Jalen, Assistant Director, Fort Logan National Cemetery, Denver, Colorado. Paul LaGrange, Director, Camp Butler National Cemetery, Springfield, Illinois. Matthew Metchke, Assistant to the Director, Jefferson Barracks National Cemetery, St. Louis, Missouri. Michael Munnerlin, Assistant Director, Fort Rosecrans National Cemetery, San Diego, California. Mark Poland, Assistant Director, Port Hudson National Cemetery, with duty at Natchez National Cemetery, Natchez, Mississippi. Thomas Ruck, Assistant Director, Puerto Rico National Cemetery, Bayamon, Puerto Rico. Jenny Walker, Assistant Director, Dallas-Fort Worth National Cemetery, Dallas, Texas. Graham Wright, Director, Biloxi National Cemetery, Biloxi, Mississippi.
Did you know? Music therapy for veterans is on display this summer and fall on the Washington Mall. Recently, the National Sylvan Theater on the grounds of the Washington Monument was rocking to the sounds of gospel singer David Bass, accompanied by area veterans who are also musicians. The mini-concert was The Art of Music Therapy in the Park, a collaborative effort of the DC VA Medical Center and the National Park Service. The monthly musical series is designed to bring veterans, staff, and the community together at national park sites to showcase the talents of DC area veterans.
It's just great to be able to share that gift of music that so many people have, and to show that you're never too old to stop loving music, to sing, and no matter what your disability is, that you can still appreciate music and enjoy singing with your fellow veterans. And it's really exciting for some of them. One in particular used to sing in the Army Choir. He has not been out of the hospital since he's been admitted a few years ago. So this he was so excited about, just to come out and perform.
Music therapy is an established healthcare specialty that addresses physical, emotional, cognitive, social, and spiritual needs. It is a big part of the Medical Center's Recreation Therapy program. The next mini-concert is scheduled for September 18th, also at the Sylvan Theater, and will feature the sounds from the Bill Hairston Project.
That's our show for this week. I'm Prince Taylor. Thank you for tuning in.
And I'm Amber Laskowski. Thanks for making VA News a part of your day. If you get a chance, let us know how we're doing. Have a great day and rest of the week.